2 p.m. every Tuesday on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Listen, don't touch that dial. Keep watching Life Center Network TV.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook at Life Center Network TV. Keep watching Life Center Network TV, your gateway to possibility. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. According to the lead pastor of Gateway International Church, my own father, Pastor George Zuma, said, when a man grows his leadership capacity, the high places of life will make room for him. And to back up that thing he said, Jack Welch, who was one time chairman of CEO of General Electric, he said, before you are a leader, success was all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is about growing others. I'd like you to know that every Tuesday here on Life Center Network, we'll handle what we call Leader Upgrade from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And I'm your anchor man. If you miss it for anything, your leadership ratings will be in doubt. I'd like you to know, the more you watch this, apply the things you like, your leadership rating will go high. Don't forget that it happens on Life Center Network, 2 p.m. every Tuesday, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Listen, don't touch that dial. Keep watching Life Center Network TV.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook at Life Center Network TV. Keep watching Life Center Network TV, your gateway to possibility. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. According to the lead pastor of Gateway International Church, my own father, Pastor George Zuma, said, when a man grows his leadership capacity, the high places of life will make room for him. And to back up that thing he said, Jack Welch, who was one time chairman of CEO of General Electric, he said, before you are a leader, success was all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is about growing others. I'd like you to know that every Tuesday here on Life Center Network, we'll handle what we call Leader Upgrade from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And I'm your anchor man. If you miss it for anything, your leadership ratings will be in doubt. I'd like you to know, the more you watch this, apply the things you like, your leadership rating will go high. Don't forget that it happens on Life Center Network, 2 p.m. every Tuesday, on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube. Listen, don't touch that dial. Keep watching Life Center Network TV.
Follow us on YouTube, Facebook at Life Center Network TV. Keep watching Life Center Network TV, your gateway to possibility. Thanks for watching.
Hello everyone. According to the lead pastor of Gateway International Church, my own
to maximize mentorship relationship. How to maximize mentorship relationship. So before I unpack the things we have here, we will start with two Bible passages, Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 16, Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 16, that says from Message translation, God's message yet again, go stand at the crossroads and look around, ask for directions to the old road, the tried and true road, then take it, discover the right route for your souls. But they said, nothing doing, we aren't going that way. But I made up my mind that I will go that way. And then if you look at Hebrews chapter 6 verse 12, I read it from King James Version and also in Message translation, say, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promise. Message translation, don't drag your feet. Be like those who stay the course with committed faith and then get everything promised to them. There are people, no matter the race you are running today, there are people who have run, that are ahead of you. You might call them heroes of faith. You might call them predecessors or whatever you want to call them. They started this race and there is nothing new you want to start that somebody has not done something about. So that's why I'm looking at the mentorship indispensability. mentorship indispensability. Let me start with what the CEO of Virgin Atlantic CEO said, Richard Branson. He said, going it alone is an admirable but foolhardy and highly flawed approach to taking on the world. You want to take on the world, you say you want to go it all alone. Well, he says it's admirable, but you're going to be a fool. You're going to be full with flaws. But if you follow a man who has done something like that before, it will be flawless. If not, the errors will be minimal. Why? Going it alone is an admirable but foolhardy and highly flawed approach to taking on the world. You are here to take on the world, but don't go it alone. Don't go it alone. So what then is mentorship? Mentorship is discovering truth by building on previous discoveries. Mentorship is discovering truth by building on previous discoveries. The other definition of mentorship that I didn't put in the slide. So just while we are there, before we move into what Isaac Newton said, true mentorship is the intentional submission of one person to the personal influence, counsel, instruction, correction, observation, understudy, and intimate exposure of another person's life, environment, lifestyle, actions, and behavior. That was Miles Monroe's definition in his book, Passing It On. Let me take it again. He said, true mentorship is the intentional submission of one person to the personal influence, counsel, instruction, correction, observation, understudy, and intimate exposure of another person's life, his environment, his actions, and behavior. And then he said, he told a story that I so much enjoyed the story. Before I move into other things, he said that one time that he has always admired Nelson Mandela. So he told himself that Nelson Mandela was his mentor until after Nelson Mandela was free from prison, 27 years of incarceration. So one of the nations in the country he wanted to visit was the Bahamas. Why? Their first prime minister was Nelson Mandela's classmate in London. So him, Dr. Miles Monroe was one of the persons that was going to receive Nelson Mandela at the airport and then be treated to a lunch. So why they all waited, politicians, statesmen, industrialists, businessmen, a few leaders from the church, all of them gathered at the airport. When his flight arrived, he was giving everybody a handshake. And when he shook his hand, I said, I've shaken the hands, I've touched the hands of a global leader. So he said, this is my mentor. He kept saying the man was his mentor. So until they went for the lunch, he said he sat 4 seats away from Nelson Mandela. And then he saw the aura around Nelson Mandela, the clouds, the serenity, how he answered questions with peace. And then when so much question bothered about those who put him in prison for 27 years, what is he going to do? He said everything he spoke about, the bottom line was forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. But why this man was talking, and I dawned on him that this man can be a motivational icon, can be an inspirational character, can be a role model, can be an example of sacrifice, but he is not your mentor. So that brings me to the third definition of mentorship. True mentorship involves face-to-face, direct, and interactive communication. When I started a little mentorship group, a small group where I mentor young persons, and I asked some of them, who is your mentor? They will tell TD Jakes. They will say Bill Gates. That person can just be a role model, can be an inspirational icon, but it's not your mentor, because mentorship involves face-to-face, direct, and what? Interactive communication. That's why every first Tuesday of the month, my pastor's protege will gather here for a vigil. And before the vigil, he'll be counseling with some persons, one-on-one, face-to-face, interactive communication with people. And that brings me to what Isaac Newton said. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Isaac Newton said, listen, whatever you are celebrating in my life today, I learned it from somewhere. There are giants in this industry that I'm standing on their shoulder. And that is why you see this thing working for me. Don't ever think I'm too much. Don't ever think I'm smart, because I have only learned to stand on the shoulders of giants. Now, there are three famous entrepreneurs I want to draw my inference from on this mentorship. The first one is Steve Jobs versus Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was mentored by Steve Jobs, and hear what Mark Zuckerberg said as a tribute to Steve Jobs when he died. He said, a small amount of time invested on your part to share your expertise can open up a new world for someone. Thanks for showing that what you build can change the world. That was what Mark Zuckerberg wrote as a tribute to Steve Jobs, that what you taught me can change the world. Why? A small amount of time you invested. He was saying that the small amount of time Steve Jobs invested in him has shown that what he taught can change the world. Let me take the second person, Warren Buffett versus Bill Gates. Warren Buffett was the one that mentored Bill Gates. And hear what Bill Gates had to say about Warren Buffett. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. You teach things that are complex in a simple form. That's what Bill Gates wrote about Warren Buffett during an interview. That Warren Buffett makes complex things very simple. What a definition of a mentor. I used to have one lecturer in school who would tell us, say, I rarely scatter the figures and you hardly gather them. And he's very happy that he's teaching us cost accounting and it's very difficult. He said, I'll rarely scatter figures and you hardly gather them. That's okay. He's happy that he's something that is already complex, he's making it more complex. But Bill Gates is saying to his own mentor, Warren Buffett, that you make complex things simple. Wow. Look at the third one. That's the one I'll be ending with. Sir Frederick Laker versus Richard Branson. Look at what Richard Branson said about Sir Frederick. It is always good to have a helping hand at the start. I wouldn't have got anywhere in the airline industry without the mentorship of Sir Frederick Laker. Sir Frederick Laker was working with British Airways, and then Richard Branson met him, and this man mentored him until he started the Virgin Atlantic. He calls most of the things he does Virgin because he said, I know nothing about these things. But he's saying that what gave him a head start was Sir Frederick Laker's mentorship. So, how do you maximize mentoring relationship? Today, I'll focus on the protege's responsibility, not on the mentor's responsibility. I'll focus on the protege's the mentee's responsibility, the one that is being mentored. So, how do you maximize mentoring relationship? Like I said to you today, my focus is on what? The protege's responsibility. The first way to maximize is a very brief and short leader upgrade I'm doing today. So the first way to maximize mentoring relationship from the protege's responsibility point of view, the first way is intentional investment of time and energy. Intentional investments of time and energy. You see, you get what you put in. If the protege will not make an intentional investment of his time and energy to pursue the mentor, he will suffer loss, if I may use that language. You see, it is not the mentor that decides how far the mentee goes. It is the pursuit. It is the mentee's pursuit of a mentor that decides. So the mentee must make intentional investment of time and energy. What are the things you do when you come for time and energy? One, define your own goals. Why do I want this relationship with this mentor, with this towering figure, with this vivacity of knowledge, with this catalog, or I don't know, I just want to get the word, with this virtuoso in this industry or in life, the way I want to train, the way I want to. So don't forget that a mentor does not mean a man who has everything about life, but a mentor has a better perspective of life. Like my pastor will say, that Lionel Messi's coach has never won a Ballon d'Or, but his coach can give him a better perspective of life. So intentional investment of time and energy. And then you ask yourself, you define your goal. Why do I want this man to mentor me? Number one, you cultivate the relationship. Number three, you seek out instructions and attend scheduled meetings. You seek out instructions and attend scheduled meetings. This night, there is a scheduled meeting that my pastor, who is the lead mentor of Impact Ministers Mentoring Outreach, has with his mentees. And that is every first Tuesday of the month, there is a vigil. So, the first way to maximize mentoring relationship, I'm still on point number one, is intentional investment of time and energy. And when you are defining, you're investing time and energy, you define your own goals, you cultivate the relationship, you seek out instructions and attend scheduled meetings. Listen, mentors don't give advice, they give instructions. They say in the School of Aviation, if you must fly an aircraft, you must follow the people who teach there. They are not called lecturers, they are called instructors. Because if you don't follow their instruction, you cannot fly an aircraft. So the first way to maximize a mentoring relationship from the protege's point of view, from the protege's responsibility point of view, is to create what? Intentional investment of time and energy. Now that brings me to the second way to maximize a mentoring relationship from the protege's responsibility point of view. It is the quality of conversations that the mentee will have with the mentor. So the quality of conversation will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. The quality of conversations will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. You see, by the grace of God, I ask my own lead mentor, my CEO, my pastor, one question every month. And any month I don't ask any question, I've learned something by observation. At times there are questions I'm planning to send at the end of the month, and one teaching has answered it for me. So there's no point bothering him and saying, well, because I ask one question every month, I must still ask. When a teaching or when during a mentoring session in Impact Vigil and is answering questions, and then the question somebody asks has answered my own question, there's no need sending the same question. So there are months I don't even send any question. Why? Because either he's teaching or listen to a preaching he's doing somewhere, I will just answer the question. So I just told myself, this month's question has been answered. But when questions like that are not answered, I go back and I said, and look at my question for this month. So the quality of conversations will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. What are the conversations you have? What actions were taken since the last meeting? The last meeting you had with your mentor. What action have you taken, or you just come there to make notes? See, taking note is good, but taking action is better. So what action did you take since the last meeting you had with your mentor? What milestone was achieved? What did they achieve? So even if you don't achieve something, so well, I tried this, I failed here. What milestone was achieved? Number three, what did not work? What is it that didn't work the last time from the last meeting you had? I'm still on point number two, the quality of conversation that will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. What did not work the last time we met? Number four, what could you try next? And then number five, where do you go from here? These are the conversations, questions you will ask. What action did I take in the last meeting I had with my mentor? What milestone was achieved? What did not work? What is it that didn't work in the last time we met? What could I try next? And then where do I go from here? Very, very important. If you want to maximize your mentoring relationship with your mentor, the quality of conversations will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. That brings me to the third thing to do if you want to maximize the mentoring relationship from the protege's responsibility point of view. The protege must turn conversations into action. The protege must turn conversations into actions. Don't just listen to a wonderful, I had a conversation with my mentor today. Turn the conversations into action. Smaller action items will progress you toward larger goals. You take small action. A man once said, small daily improvement when done on daily basis. Small improvement when done on daily basis will give birth to a gargantuan result. So the protege must understand that conversations he had with the mentor must turn into action, because smaller action items will progress you toward larger goals. When you take small action, it ensures action moves you towards stated goals. So you must be goal oriented. You must be goal oriented. Number 2, ensure that you take action that put basic principles into play. You must be practical. You must be practical. And then adapt standard that can change your behavior. You must be a model. First, you must be goal oriented. Second, you must be practical. Third, you must be a model. So you ensure that actions moves you toward stated goals. Number 2, take actions that put basic principles into play and adapt standards that can change your behavior. Be action oriented, be practical, and be a model. That brings me to the 4th way to maximize mentorship relationship or mentoring relationship from the protege's responsibility point of view. Be appreciative of your mentor. Be appreciative of your mentor. Taking time to explicitly state why you are grateful to be in a mentoring relationship can be a great conversation starter. Be appreciative of your mentor. During Father's Day, I sent my lead mentor, my father, my CEO, a message. I said, thank you. I was very detailed. I didn't just send a message and just say, thank you for mentoring me. No, I was detailed. In case you want to know, let me show you what I sent to him. I was detailed because I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. Look at this. I want to put it here for you to see it. So that I just want to read it out for you. I know that it's not just something you just type and say, well, thank you, and you just move on like that. Look at what I said to him. Please just bear with me. I said, Happy Father's Day, Dad. And I made a quote from what he said in his last teaching. He said, the worst thing Satan does to a ministry is to allow leaders grow old without letting sons grow up. The worst thing Satan does to a ministry is to allow leaders grow old without letting sons grow up. And in that same teaching, he talked about the difference between legacy and posterity. He said legacy is leaving something behind, whereas posterity is leaving somebody behind. And I said to him, thank you for the privilege of access. Thank you for your intentional mentorship. Thank you for modeling transgenerational leadership for me. Thank you for being a caring shepherd to me. Thank you for exuding futuristic thinking CEO. I am blessed by you. I love you, Dad. Happy Father's Day once more. So I didn't just say, I want to thank you for mentoring me. No. I mentioned the things I was grateful for. So that's why I'm teaching you here. And I said, you say something like, I am grateful for your caring, for being a caring shepherd. I am thankful for modeling what? Futuristic CEO. I appreciate you when you get me that counsel. I find it helpful when you said to me, do this. Your mentoring me means a lot to me. I am blessed by you. Don't just go and say, thank you, mentor. Thank you for mentoring. What are you thankful for? What are you appreciative of? What are you grateful for? What has changed your life? I took a message he preached the previous that day, because the Father's Day was on a Sunday, 16th of last month. And I quoted what he said. And I now started thanking him. When he said the worst thing Satan can do to a ministry is to allow leaders to grow old without allowing sons to grow up. That resonates so much with me. And I had to thank him for how he has been a caring shepherd, being a futuristic thinking CEO. Very powerful. Very powerful. Now, so because I'm also using it to mentor some persons, so I have what I call mentoring application questions. Now, I want you to learn so much from what we have just done today, and then ask yourself this question: how will you maximize your relationship with your mentor? That's the first question I want to ask you. Listening to me this afternoon, by the grace of God, I know I've unpacked some values to you. How will you maximize your relationship with your mentor? Do you actually have scheduled meetings? Do you actually ask him questions? Are you appreciative of your mentor? How will you maximize relationship with your mentor? That's the first thing you need to be asking yourself. What can I do differently from today? Maybe I've been a very bad protege. I've been a bad mentee. So, how will you maximize your relationship with your mentor? That brings me to the second application question. What steps will you take? What steps will you take to make your mentor proud by your huge success? What steps will you take to make your mentor proud by your huge success? I think it was Robert Greene that said, as in Leonardo da Vinci, he said, poor is the student who does not succeed or who does not outpace his mentor's success. You are poor. You are a poor student, a poor mentee, if you cannot outpace, or return to your mentor your success. So the second question I'm asking you: what steps will you take to make your mentor proud by your huge success? In other words, what steps are you going to take to have huge success, which will become a return that are making your mentor proud? Question number 3: how many persons would you like to change their lives through significant living this year? In other words, how many persons are you going to mentor? How many persons have you chosen to mentor this year, 2024? Because someone is mentoring you. Now, who are you mentoring? Because it's a relay race. You can't hand over the baton. You can move from generation to generation. You saw the 3 guys I talked about: Richard Branson, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg. They showed you people that mentored them and how far it has brought them. And I'm very sure that Mark Zuckerberg is mentoring somebody else. I'm very sure that Bill Gates is mentoring somebody. I'm very sure that Richard Branson is mentoring somebody. So the third question I'm asking you: how many persons would like to change their lives through significant living this year? Don't forget, success is adding value to yourself, whereas significance is adding value to others. What steps? The fourth question: what do you see as hindrances to your mentorship journey? The fourth question: what do you see as hindrances to your mentorship journey? You have been in a mentorship relationship. What do you think is hampering you? What do you think is causing you not to maximize the benefit of mentorship? What are the things hindering? And finally, how would you like your epitaph to be written after you have gone? How would you like your epitaph? The epitaph is the writing on a tombstone in memory of Jehoshaphat Ahab, a man who touched his generation. I love the epitaph of David. In Acts chapter 13, verse 13, he said, David, a man who served his generation according to the will of God. Man, that's a powerful epitaph. That's a powerful writing on a man's tombstone. That's what epitaph is. The writing on your tombstone. Some people, what you see in their tombstone is 1920 to 1980. That's all. But I love the epitaph on the tombstone of David. A man who served his generation after the will of God. Man, What a life, what a legacy. How would you like your epitaph to be written after you have gone? Well, as I bring this to a close, I've been talking about mentorship indispensability. And I read for you Jeremiah chapter 6 verse 16, and then Hebrews chapter 6 verse 12. Jeremiah 6 verse 16 says, good message yet again. Go stand at the crossroad and look around. Ask for direction to the old road, the tried and true road. Then take it, discover the right route for your souls. But they said, nothing doing. We aren't going that way. But me, I said, I will go that way. Then Hebrews chapter 6 verse 12, King James said, that ye be not slothful, but followers of them who through faith and patience inherit the promise. And I read it from Message translation as well. Don't drag your feet. Be like those who stay the curse with committed faith, and then get everything promised to them. And I started by saying to you what Richard Branson said, going it alone is an admirable but foolhardy and highly flawed approach to taking on the war. If you want to go it alone, your life will be full of flaws. And I said that mentorship is discovering truth by building on previous discoveries. And I said to you again that true mentorship is the intentional submission of one person to the personal influence, counsel, instruction, correction, observation, understudy, and intimate exposure of another person's life, environment, lifestyle, action, and behavior. And true mentorship involves what? Face-to-face, direct, and interactive communication. Somebody can be a motivational icon, inspirational character, a role model, and an example of sacrifice, and may not be your mentor. And then Isaac Newton said it this way: if I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. And then I gave to you 3 famous entrepreneurs whose life speaks well of what? Mentorship. The first one is the mentorship relation that existed between Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. And Mark Zuckerberg wrote this tribute on about Steve Jobs when he died. A small amount of time invested on your part to share your expertise can open up a new world for someone. Thanks for showing that what you build can change the world. Warren Buffett and Bill Gates. Bill Gates said this about Warren Buffett. He said, as we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower others. Okay? Leaders will be those who empower others. You teach things that are complex in a simple form. And then Richard Branson had this to say about Sir Frederick Laker. He said, it is always good to have a helping hand at the start. I wouldn't have got anywhere in the airline industry without the mentorship of Sir Frederick Laker. And then we say, how do you maximize the mentoring relationship? But I said today, my focus is on the protege's responsibility. First, we said, intentional investment of time and energy. You get what you put in. You define your own goals. You cultivate the relationship. You seek out instructions and attend scheduled meetings. The second way to maximize the relationship, the quality of conversation will directly impact on the value of the protege's development. What actions were taken since the last meeting? What milestone was achieved? What did not work in the last time? What could you try next? And where do you go from here? The third thing to do to maximize the mentorship relationship, the protege must turn conversations into actions. Smaller action items will progress you towards larger goals. Ensure action moves you towards stated goals. Be goal-oriented. Take actions that put basic principles into play. Be practical. Adopt standards that can change your behavior. Be a model. The fourth step to take to maximize mentoring relationship, be appreciative of your mentor. Taking time to explicitly state why you are grateful to be in a mentoring relationship can be a great conversation starter. Like, I am grateful for being my futuristic CEO. I appreciate you when you show me care as a shepherd. I find it helpful when you give me this instruction. Your mentoring me means a whole world to me. I am blessed by you. Then I said, what are the questions, mentoring application question? Number one, how will you maximize your relationship with your mentor going forward? Number two, what steps will you take to make your mentor proud by your huge success? Number three, how many persons would you like to change their lives through significant living this year? Number four, what do you see as hindrances to your mentorship journey? And number five, how do you like your epitaph to be written after you have gone? Conclusion: to double your income. To double your income, triple your investment in professional mastery and personal capabilities. If you want to double your income, triple your investment in personal mastery and professional capabilities. Till I come your way again, my name is Mika Kyle. I'm the director for church planting, coordinating the satellite churches, and also pastoring our branch in Trans Amadi, just directly opposite Gulf Estate. Leader Upgrade comes your way every Tuesday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And then here on Life Center Network on Fulcrum International, on YouTube, Gateway International, and all of that. Please, I'd like you to share the content of this Leader Upgrade. Very helpful, very valuable, because I know that I'm being mentored well. I posted something today, say it takes a leader who has followed well to mentor others who to follow well, because an anointed rebel is not an asset to any organization. So, and we are in a season of midnight cry and vigils of destiny. So today by 10:30 p.m. up until 12:15 a.m. will be on Pastor George Zuma YouTube, Gateway International Church, Life Center Network, Mixera Radio, and all of that for the midnight cry. It is 31 days of prayer, power, and that goes kiaka. Don't miss it for anything. Today is day 2 of the midnight cry. And then on Friday, Satan must regret being Satan, because by 10 p.m., if I come by 10 p.m., you'll be at the overflow. I don't know what number it will be, maybe number 10 or number 15. But that's what we'll have, the vigils of destiny every Friday. Until I come your way again, don't downgrade your dream just to fit in. Upgrade who you are, and your dream will meet you where you are. Today, we talked about mentorship indispensability. Don't forget what I usually say jocularly. If you don't have a mentor, you fall into the hands of tormentors. Till I come your way again, follow the way, the trusted and true way, and you will arrive where your mentors have arrived. You even supersede what they have done, because when fathers break through, sons walk through. If you don't have a father, you have no feather. If you don't have a mentor, you have a tormentor that will torment your life. I have a father. I have a mentor. My mentor, my father, is George Izunwa, and is fathering me well. See you at the topmost top while you upgrade your dream. Thank you. God bless you.
Hello, everyone. According to the lead pastor of Gateway International Church, my own father, Pastor George Zuma, said, when a man grows his leadership capacity, the high places of life will make room for him. And to back up that thing he said,